Hello, my name's Craig Carroll, President of Team One Plastics, and I'm honored to have Troy Nix, Executive Director of the MAPP organization, with me today as we discuss various plastic topics. And as we've talked over many things, you've mentioned several times about sort of best in class. And with your experience and knowledge of the many different plastic processors, what would you say you've seen that have allowed those best in class to survive the very tumultuous last few years and are well positioned, and what are they doing to be successful in the future?
So what about the term, don't take your foot off the accelerator, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter whether you're going downhill or not and you have all this speed behind you. And the reason I bring this up is during our benchmarking conference last year, we had an individual by the name of Jack Daly who presented to our entire group and left an impact.
Oh, very much so.
And one of the things that really, I think, hit our group was the fact that he asked the audience of all the owners and the presidents and the general managers about their sales staff. And who are the primary sales staff? And a lot of people raised their hand, and Jack made a comment. So basically you have full-time operations managers, full-time quality managers, but you have a part-time sales manager, right? And I think what I've seen is the companies that are continue to do well have focused on diversifying and continually focus on sales. Because you never know, and when you run into organizations that say, we can't take any more work, to me that throws up flags.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to continue to develop those relationships in areas where you never thought before, and you can't take the foot off the accelerator. So I think that's one of the best practices, is the fact that organizations that have done well have sales strategies, and they implement them every single day. No more part-time selling.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, a few years ago I was the part-time sales guy, and we've made the investment, because it is an investment, in a salesperson who's really taken us to the next level. And we're now moving so fast we wonder if we're going to be able to keep up with it. But as you look at those organizations, and you know, as they're growing then, because now, like you said, you're probably going downhill with a pretty good wind behind your back. How are they trying to manage that whole process? Because that has lots of challenges, threats, opportunities in that process in itself.
Most definitely. A lot of spokes to that wheel there.
That's right. That's right.
It's interesting, but we have to go back to the second challenge that we spoke about a couple tapes ago, and the fact is that a best practice in keeping companies afloat and making them more profitable is really zeroing in on their operations. How good are you? How good are you at transactional, even off the production floor? How good are you at product launch and engineering, right? How good are you, and are your people identifying waste and fighting every day to get better and better? Now, this is interesting, Craig, because in our upcoming October benchmarking conference, which will be on the 11th and 12th this year of October, we've landed a speaker that is coming in from Seattle, and he's a business owner just like you. And he's written a couple of books. One is called 2-Second Lean. And what he looks for every day are these small miniature improvements everywhere. And he mandates his employees do that and come up with ideas and implement changes. Whether it's opening a garbage lid, why go through the motions, right? It takes time and energy and effort, so figure out another way. And this is, I think, what's happening for companies that are doing really well and increasing their margins. Is that they're focusing on waste reduction and getting better at throughput. It's mandatory in the business strategy.
Yeah, because we still are in a global environment. And as we've talked about a little today, the U.S. has become very globally competitive. And it's because of the decades of outsourcing and global pressures we've seen. And I think we're finally seeing a shift, that we have become so efficient. If you've survived the last 5 years, you're where you need to be, at least in general, to be able to compete globally. And then can you use that knowledge to really leverage that and be best in class? I want to strongly recommend the MAPP organization, which Troy leads, and we've been a member for 10+ years. It's an excellent organization. He mentioned the benchmarking conference. I think I've gone to almost every one you've had.
I think you have.
They've continued to grow, not just in size, but in quality. Last year's you mentioned was exceptional, And I'm looking forward to the one that you mentioned, which will be in Indianapolis, and the dates again?
It's the 11th and 12th of October. And the only thing I'll say, because I know my time is running short here, and to leave our audience with these words, that we strongly believe in the MAPP organization, that America is what America makes, and that we are trying to do anything and everything to help our members so that our country and generations beyond us will be very successful.
Yeah, and that's one reason we feel strongly is that they do believe in that mission, and they're working hard to help every one of their members be successful.